Greetings fellow traders, this is Max and welcome to my Sunday market analysis where I'm gonna analyze the market and share with you my top trades for the upcoming week. And the last week has been not the greatest week for my trading, and I will go into that in this video and tell you why this was the case. But for the coming week I have selected 3 pairs with interesting trade setups that I am really excited to share with you and that I'm interested in trading in the coming week. I've also marked 2 pairs with my yellow marker, which are pairs from last week's list which are not featured in this week's list, and we'll go over those pairs later to see how they have performed, so stay tuned for that. And you may notice I have marked CAD CHF with a yellow marker as well, and if you remember, CAD CHF has been yellow marked last week too, and on this pair I had to take 2 losses last week, 2 small losses, and I will talk about those 2 losses and speak a bit about emotions in trading. So without further ado, let's start here with the pair EURAUD. Now, EURAUD, I'm having a long position in my mind that I am planning here. So on the weekly chart we have had the last weeks a really big and strong downtrend. So I am expecting now a little correction and a retracement to the upside again, and the recent weekly candlestick has closed almost looking like some sort of hammer candle or relatively neutral, even though it's not really that neutral or as neutral as I would have liked it to be. However, we've had a strong downtrend and I'm setting some conditions here on when I'm interested in actually opening a long position here or taking it, and I want to see price first crossing this 1.68 round psychological level here. I want to see it breaking above it or breaking through it, triggering my alarm, and then I want to see a small retracement here, then an entry signal that's basically a higher low where I'm going to open the position and then hopefully profit off of a correction to the upside where this is going to be the big retracement of this long downtrend. And on a lower time frame it's almost lining up as some sort of higher low here, but what you can see is that the price is still experiencing some resistance around this 1.68 round psychological level, and what I want to see is just a basic breakout, then a retest, and then if it's going to give me the entry signal, which might be a morning star and an engulfing candlestick, then I might open the long position here just so that the price is bouncing around this zone as it did here before. If it's not doing that and it's just going to continue to the downside, I'm not going to consider this long position anymore for the coming week. So that's the plan on EURAUD. Now let's go to the next pair, which is GBPCAD. Now GBPCAD has been on the list even last week, and I'm still looking for the potential long position that I am planning here. You can see we have a round psychological level, the 1.86 round psychological level, and the recent weekly candlestick has even closed green and looking like it's really rejecting the area, and there's a lot of buying pressure in the market, which looks like a big liquidity grab. So what I'm looking for now is I'm looking for it to break through this round psychological level, have a small retracement and retest this area of interest, which has been support, resistance, and now I hope when price will break out it will turn into support again, retesting it, sweeping some liquidity below, and then the higher low is going to be my entry signal to open a long position here on GBPCAD and profit off of a correction to the upside. So it's important to be patient here, but what you can see, it's still respecting this area. I want to see it break through it, then come down into the area, and then this is going to be the place where I'm going to open the long position. It really took quite some days to set up this position eventually, but as you can see, you just have to be patient. Maybe this is also a break below this round psychological level or this area of interest here, and now it's just going to retest it and continue to the downside. That can happen, of course. That's why I'm saying that I'm only going to consider this position when the price is breaking through this area, then coming down into it, giving me the entry signal, and then I might open the position. Now let's go to the next and already last main pair for this week, which is GBPNZD. It's also a GBP pair, but you remember GBPNZD has been on my list last week too, and I'm still waiting for the price to have this kind of big retest of this huge correction here, or it's basically the retest of this 2.26 round psychological level. Now I even adjusted the area of interest as I saw that it seems to be more significant here in this area where you can see the bodies of those candles, and right now it actually really closed very neutrally, at least the weekly candlestick, which looks like a rejection, and this is really good. And now on the daily time frame, or at least the lower time frame, let's say the 4 hour, I want to see price breaking through this 2.26 round psychological level, which it seems to be respecting now. I want to see it breaking through it and then having the small retest of it, basically having a break and retest of an inverse head and shoulders pattern, where this might be the left shoulder, the head and the right shoulder, and it's inverse, so this is a bullish pattern or considered to be a bullish pattern, and I want to see price breaking above it so that it's indicating the resistance of this price area is pretty much gone. This is of course going to take some time, but maybe in the next 2 days this might actually be possible. Of course I would like to see a wick down first as well, but that might actually happen, and then as soon as it's triggering my alarm, I will have a look at the pair and see if it's now starting to have the correction to the upside after this bigger correction to the downside. So essentially I just want to profit off of this big long-term uptrend here, and now it might continue higher or even just retest this area, which would still provide a really decent risk reward ratio. Now that's already it with the main pairs for the coming week. Now let's have a look at the pairs from last week and see how those pairs have performed, and we'll start here with the pair AUD-CAD. And on AUD-CAD I was waiting for the price to have a retracement back into the 0.95 round psychological level so that it will reject it as support and I could open a long position here. As you can see, it has not done so. It has still continued to the upside, or at least been ranging a bit around this area, so maybe it will still have the bigger correction. However, I doubt that this will happen in the coming week, but of course it might have the correction, but the entry signal is probably gonna be there in 2 weeks, so I have to be patient here, and maybe there's even going to be a bigger correction. We do not know, so I'm a bit careful with this trade now, and I decided not to put it on this week's list. Another pair on last week's list was USD JPY, and on USD JPY I was waiting for price to have the correction down into this area, the 155 round psychological level, and an area of interest which has been support. And now it looks like price has not respected this level at all, and you can see it just violently continued to the downside. So right now the trade is not valid for me anymore. It has not reacted to the zone. There's never been any sort of entry signal for me to open the long position that I planned to open on USD JPY in case it would come down back into the area. So right now I just have to sit here and watch what USD JPY is doing, but so far there is not really an indication on what it might do next. This could be some kind of double bottom here and might have now a correction to the upside. I'll set a price alarm, so in case the price is doing anything interesting, I will have a look at it again and maybe already plan some potential new entries for the week in 2 weeks. So not the next week, but for the coming week. This is not going to be interesting for me. As I teased in the beginning of the video, I would like to speak a bit about emotions in trading and take CAD CHF as an example. If you follow my free Telegram channel, you saw that I opened 2 positions here on CAD CHF and closed them immediately. What has happened there? Because usually I wait for price to either hit my stop loss or I set my stops break even depending on if the price has developed quite far, and I just do not want to lose those profits anymore. But this was not the case for CAD CHF, and it's really important to reflect what is going on in your head, in your mind, what's going on with your emotions during a trade. And I can transparently say that there has been many emotions going on with my CAD CHF trade. If you remember, I was waiting for CAD CHF to give me a new chance or a new opportunity to open a short position here. And what you can see, it had established this area here and this price zone, which it had respected. Then it broke below this area and then came back into the area. And I thought, hey, this is going to be the rejection that I was waiting for. I'm going to open the short position here. Unfortunately, price then reversed and continued to the upside again. And I was like, okay, before I lose any more money here, I will get out of this trade much earlier this time and just wait for either further confirmation or just skip this trade entirely. Price has shown some new reaction then, and I was like, okay, this is going to be the case now. I'm going to open the short position again. What happened after? Price reversed again and even climbed higher, and it would have stopped me out immediately. So overall, I took 2 smaller losses, which is basically 1 normal loss for me. So it's not ideal, but I still tried to reduce my risk a bit again. And then what you can see, the price had a bigger push to the downside again, and it came into the area rejecting the EMA, and now it looks like it finally has the correction to the downside that I was anticipating. So what has led to those wild trading decisions now? See, as a trader, you try to judge a trade 0% subjectively and only try to objectively judge the trade you are taking. You have your parameters set and you just want to enter a trade if all those parameters match. And in this case, I was just so confident, and I thought after those 2 weeks of not taking a trade or taking some smaller losses, I do want to have a profitable trade again. And what I did here was I completely overreacted and basically forced a trade induced by emotions and indecisiveness. And basically you could say FOMO, the fear of missing out. Was it good? Not at all. Did I learn something from it? Maybe I did. And it's really important to reflect your own trading decisions. Why did you take a trade? Was the trade necessary? Was the trade taken because of emotions or because the trade fitted your trading plan? And in this case, it partly fitted my trading plan, but it was mostly induced by emotions. And what do you get from it? Of course, you mainly lose money, and it's going to hurt you a bit emotionally because you have taken another loss. So for me, it's important to reflect this here and openly speak about it. And I'm pretty sure that some of you have experienced the same, and it's just going to happen, unfortunately, from time to time. But over the years, you train to reduce this happening and reduce the risk of this happening. And for me, I can say my confidence slipped here, and now I'll even try more to stick to my plan again and not fall for those false trading signals or trading decisions, or just listen to the emotions, because the emotions are always going to lead to bad decisions in trading. And with that, I'm going to end this week's Sunday market analysis. I've looked at the other pairs too. I've only set price alarms, but I did not find any new good trade setups for the coming week. If any of those alarms is getting triggered, I will have a look at the respective pair again and then see if I can find a new opportunity. If you want to get notified whenever that happens, or if you're interested in when I open or close a position, or if you want to receive regular trade updates on my running trades, you can just join my free Telegram channel. I will put the link to it into the video description. And you will also find a link to my other socials there. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below and I will try to answer your questions. If you liked the video, just leave me a like, and if you dislike the video, just leave a dislike, and feel free to comment what you did not like about this video, so it will help me to actually improve my videos in the future. And of course, subscribe if you do not want to miss out on the new Sunday market analysis. Thank you for watching. I wish you a successful trading week. Remember to manage your risk properly, and see you next Sunday.